I've made a few videos similar to this in the past, but it's time for another one. I'm going to discuss the grim reality of what will happen when they come for your guns. And by they, I do not mean Moms Demand Action. I do not mean David Hogg and March for Our Lives. I do not mean Michael Moore. I do not mean, Beto O'Rourke's and his fat ass politician friends. The people who are going to do it are going to be law enforcement and the military, possibly. Why do I think that? I know a lot of you worship cops and military personnel like they're everything. But granted, who stepped on the free speech rights in Lafayette Square of those George Floyd protesters? Law enforcement and the military. And they also are the ones out there right now enforcing red flag laws. Well, the police are, the military currently isn't doing that. Currently. But granted, if it comes down to, they're generally say they are pro 2A, but if push comes to shove, they will do what they're told. If you think they are going to throw away their livelihood, their pensions, their GI Bill for your guns, you're really fucking stupid. Now granted, you will see a lot of cops turn in their badge, as I have said before. You will see a lot of desertions from the military, as I have said before. And granted, it's not going to be, they're not going to come one-on-one at it with you. They're not going to go one-on-one with you. Hell no, they're not going to play that game. It most likely won't happen like this, but if it does, they're going to roll in with everything. They're going to have tanks. They're going to have helicopters. They're going to have a lot of squad cars and a lot of AR-15s. They will use overwhelming force because they generally won't do anything. The police, at least, generally won't do anything with overwhelming force, and the military is pretty used to having overwhelming force. And if you get on the wrong end of that, you're simply going to die or surrender. Either way, they're going to get your weapons. That being said, there's a whole bunch of ways they could do this. They probably won't send in, have like SWAT teams and tanks rolling down the street. That's probably not going to happen. What's probably going to happen is they're going to regulate ammo to the point where you can't afford it. They're going to regulate magazines. They're going to regulate body armor. They are just going to find little ways around the Second Amendment. And there's a whole slew of things they can do. And again, do not think that the military and law enforcement will not do as instructed. That's their job, to do what they're told, and they're very good at doing what they're told. So never forget that, my friends. Never, ever, ever, ever. Anyhow, they will tax ammo. They will tax magazines. They will ban certain types of ammo and all that stuff, ban various functions. What they'll do is first they'll come for assault rifles like AR-15s, AKs, M1As, etc., etc., etc. Basically any semi-automatic weapon, semi-automatic rifle. And once they've done that, they'll say, yay, we've neutered the school shooters, and then they'll point out, they're like, oh, the homicides are still up, they've got guns and all that crap. these gangbangers are out there shooting people and all that stuff, and then they go for the handguns. And from there, you're basically left with just muzzle loaders. If that. Granted, the disparity between government and the people is just, it's never been this great. As I said before, the government has tanks, they have artillery, they have attack helicopters, they've got all tactical bombers, all that jazz. Why are they so afraid of somebody who has an AR-15? And yeah, they got unmanned drones. Because if they didn't think that the people could win, they wouldn't try to take their guns away. It's just that simple. And anyway, it's like it's just you know, you would be amazed, honestly, at how stupid people are, or maybe not. It's just, I never see too much I've made a video about this called Mulan Labe plus then Mulan equals oxymoron. And I basically explain a lot of the things that I just told you. And it's protect your Second Amendment, protect the First Amendment, protect all of the amendments. I'm a free speech advocate. I'm a Second Amendment advocate. And I personally disagree. For example, I disagree with Antifa's message profoundly, but I will march for their right to speak. I will march for a communist's right to speak. I will march for a Muslim cleric's right to speak. I will march for a fanatical Christian's right to speak. All of these groups I personally disagree with, but I will still fight for their rights. I will fight for the right of a gun control advocate to speak and to make his voice heard. It's just that simple. Because when you start putting limits on free speech, you don't have free speech. It's just that simple. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh yeah, I got more to say. The reality is that when they do, what they'll probably do is that if they ever do decide to come for your guns, they're probably not going to come for your guns. They'll probably have like a deadline in for you to turn them in. And if you don't turn them in, they're just going to issue an arrest warrant out for you, and you'll be arrested during a traffic stop or something. And when they do that, they'll just go to your house and take all your shiny, cool AR-15s and anything else that's not a muzzle loader. There's just a whole bunch of things they can do. It most likely won't be a great apocalypse like scenario with like 1820, like 1924, like God, 1984 or anything like that. It's going to be very methodical, thought out, and done in a way so as not to incite a revolution. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.